Hey, what's up, YouTube? I wanted to just go ahead and do a quick video showing how I was able to beat these bosses and cap that rank 1 clear. I know this is not particularly difficult, but being the first time that I've ever been able to do it, I wanted to just kind of share how it was and talk a little bit about it. It was, I did it on stream, and it was a little nerve-wracking because I was working on figuring it out as I went. I used a couple of people's guides that I watched for inspiration, but did make some changes and kind of did it a little bit of combination of like their way and my way. You'll probably be able to guess whose it was I was looking at when you take a look at the video and the composition. But I really hope that you guys are all able to go ahead and clear this rank 1 and get all the rank 1 rewards, because it's a really easy way to kind of build up reserves, heading into the next Clash of Wills, or even if you have enough lapis, and then want to build back up after we get these rewards in a few weeks. So definitely go in there and clear these however you can, get as high a rank as you can. These are not terribly difficult if you've been playing for a while. Now, if there are some things that you're missing, good machine killer buff or a good non-elemental finisher or elemental imbues, things like that, it can get a little tricky, but it can definitely be done. And so I wanted to kind of show how I'm doing it, or how I did it rather. The same strategy for all 3 levels. So I'm just going to show the highest level difficulty. And the team that I used was this one. So I've got Bulwark, I've got Venera, who I know is time limited, but you could theoretically do this with other units. Venera just has a really nice thing to help with this, and so I'll show what that is here in a minute. Tidus is going to be my non-elemental finisher. We've got some chainers, and we've got a buffer for machine killer. So I'm not using the best machine killer. I'm not using the best, a really big stat buff. So I'm using good stat buffs, but not the very best. And this still works. So we'll take a look here. This was fun to do, though. Venera is, and I'll show the gear in just a second, but Venera is passive provoking. And she's also got an ability here, which gives her 6 stacks of Mirage. So she's going to go ahead and use that. Okay, Tidus is just going to use his ace ability. Zahn is just going to guard. Elena is going to shift, and she's going to do crystal refragmentation and protection of the Azure crystal. This is unnecessary because I'm going to be killing this boss on turn 3. But if you weren't going to survive past turn 3 and you needed some resistance to fire, there it is. Ling is going to triple, and she's just going to disarming just to break, transcendent just to give mitigation just in case I don't really need it, and purifying dance, which again don't really need, but it's there. Bulwark is just going to guard. Boss is going to go after Venera. He's going to miss because of her Mirage stacks, and then Venera is going to counterattack with, because in her shift form she counterattacks with a move that accuracy downs the boss. Reduces accuracy. So that's going to make it harder for the boss to hit on subsequent turns. She's miraging anyway, but that's basically going to make this boss really, really dumb and not do any damage. We're completely safe. It's turn 2. Tidus is going to use Tyvus's Spirit. We're going to double jingle and use Tempest Tango and Kupo Clang just to do it. If you have any other wind imbues, it does not have to be Bulwark. Bulwark just happens to be really slot efficient for that, so there it is. These 2 are just going to guard. Ling is going to shift and give us a just a general buff for attack and magic, and mechanic stance. This is going to give 150 machine killer. Not the best out there, but it's still very usable. And then she's also going to do Celestial Dance just because I am paranoid and I like to have Mirage stacks. Also, if you need them, then they're there, That damage that she does to herself does not count for a damage score. Venera is just going to redo her Shadow Cast. Boss is going to go after Venera. It's going to miss. She's going to accuracy down the boss again. And now we're ready to kill. Super limit burst ready to go. Okay. These two are just going to chain. And because I'm doing 2 chainers, we're doing Stardust Ray or Oriole Ray Stardust. Which when you combine that with Tidus, you get a 100-point chain. 100 hit chain. I always say 100-point chain. You ever notice that? Okay, so we're gonna send. The important thing, the second reason she's here is she does a 90% defense break, which also gets rid of any buffs on the boss. Okay, and yeah, so I'm gonna send Tidus, and I'm gonna send my other 2, and we're ready to go. Right, so that's 100 points, 100 hits. No Karten. Still damage capped. The damage cap is something like 5.4 or 5.6, something silly like that. Tidus does that completely by himself once he has the support of everybody else. Right? There it is. I'm already rank 1, so the score is not going to change any, but there it is. So that one, very, very easy. Just to look at the gear. Bulwark, I think I literally just hit Spirit. I hit Spirit and Optimize, and he doesn't do anything offensively, so it doesn't really matter, but, you know, there it is. Venera is completely, well, not completely naked. I gave her the discipline coat. You don't have to have that. She's only spending the 1 turn in her shift form. Shift form's where it's at. She's got provoke and evasion. I gave the Blizzard Orb just to give her more chances in the discipline coat. You don't have to have it. She's probably going to counterattack. It's fine. I gave her Looming Wrath just to boost the chance that she's going to accuracy down the boss, and that's important. Just evasion and provoke is really what you need, and she's going to be fine. Tidus, I did give Machine Killer, LB damage, not even full Machine Killer, he still capped it, right? So LB damage, Machine Killer, we're getting a buff. I gave him Tidus' Spirit. Like, he's probably overdoing it. It is what it is. You probably don't have to build yours as well, and you can still be fine. He hit the cap. These two, just whatever gear. I think I gave them some Machine Killer. I did not. They're just chaining. Zahn is literally just chaining. You could use anybody else other than, I mean, you don't have to use Zahn. You could use Assassin Shadow. You could use King Bradley. Anybody who can do the AR/SR thing is good. We got through this without going to turn 4, which means we didn't take any fire damage. You could again replace Elena with anybody else who does AR/SR, and you're fine. Ling, you know, she does important stuff. I've got her built pretty much the same way in both forms, but what she does do is the Machine Killer buff. She does breaks for the boss, or not? Did she break? Yeah, she broke the boss. Technically, not important because Venera's going to do it. But she did a Machine Killer buff. She did mitigations, which didn't end up mattering. The Machine Killer is the important thing. So a lot of builds out there are using like Regina to do a 200%. And then spread that around. In this setup, we did not need that, and we did just fine. Now, frankly, Tidus is equipped really, really well, but I don't think you have to go that hard to do it. I don't think he has to work that hard to hit 10 billion. But the cap's not 10 billion anyway on that boss, so you could, you know, probably sacrifice a little bit and still get a, you know, as long as you get 6 billion, you're fine. The important thing is Venera with her 90% defense break. And her accuracy down. So there's that one. And then Fallen Star. So this one was fun. I screwed up my chaining a couple of times. But here's the team that we're running. And I'll look at the gear before we go into it first. How about that? Bulwark again. He's going to be doing minimal damage. He's going to help out with chaining on the first turn. And that's about it. Other than that, he's going to be doing a Dark Imbue, Dark Amp, and stat buffs and stuff like that. Not that important because these two are innately dark, but we do want to hit enough. You want to have some dark to be able to do hits. So you could just use, and you could bring somebody else and just give them dark elemental weapons, and that's fine. Venera is going to be doing the same exact thing, except she's also going to be helping chain on turn 1. Ling is doing the same exact thing, and also giving everybody chain frames so they can chain on turn 1. Their gear is basically irrelevant. This is the same as it was in the last one. Yuna is here helping chain and also doing a dark field for party damage up. She does the anima field, so somebody has to have anima. Let's look at Fei. He's never in his shift form or base form, and I've got him built like this for the shift form. Tidus Spirit, equipped clothes, power of id, assassin born of hate. You know, high stats, does dark damage. Sephiroth, base form has Tidus Spirit. I don't even think it's necessary, but he's got it. And then just some whatever stuff that I had on him on a previous trial and I didn't bother changing. And then his shift form is built for damage. You know, machine killer, lots of machine killer. 300 machine killer, 300 LB damage. Okay, I don't have his card. I have Tifa's cards. We use Tifa's card. That's pretty much it. Let's take a look. So turn 1, we get our 100 hit chain out of the way right away, just because I feel like that's easier. So we'll do Celestial Combo. We'll use Disarming to break the boss and Transcendent. Before I do anything else, though, I'm going to go ahead and have Sephiroth do a stack for his shifted LB. Okay. And then Ling is going to give everybody the chain frames they need. Venera is going to start out with Shadowcast and then Umbral Dagger twice, just for triple Stardust Ray. Everybody's going to do triple Stardust Ray. You could do this with Fei in the base form if you were worried about doing too much damage. We don't end up doing too much damage. And you just chain that up, everybody all at once. Just getting the 100 hits out of the way. Okay, there it is. Got 100 hits. Venera does the exact same thing. Reducing the boss's accuracy just becomes very important. She's going to reapply her Shadowcast. Okay. Fei is going to use his triple. He's going to use Awakening, Hyper Mode, and then just whatever. I use Radiance. Sephiroth's going to downshift, and he's going to use Fallen Angel. Okay, Bulwark is going to shift up, and he's just going to use the Dark Imbue just to do it. Ling is going to shift up, and she's going to triple. She's going to use Celestial Combo to just reapply it, make sure we have it. Mechanic Dance and Rallying. Yuna is going to summon Anima. Okay, so we got the Dark Shadow on there. We're good to go. Fei is going to Tidus Spirit. Sephiroth is going to Tidus Spirit. Bulwark is again going to just Shadow. Venera is going to Shadow Cast. Really boring, right? We're going to reapply Celestial Combo. We're going to reapply Mechanic just because I'm paranoid. And Dragon Dancer to make sure everybody's full. Yuna can do nothing if she wants to. If you have something interesting to do with her, go ahead. Alright, and we're ready to kill it. Okay. Again, Venera does the most important thing she does. Marauder's Blade. Gets rid of any buffs on the boss. Bulwark and Yuna are going to chain. And these two are going to cap. Since we already got the 100 hit chain out of the way, we don't have to worry about we don't have to worry about like how many hits we do. So as long as we're just chaining at all, it's fine. And we're just going to send them all at the same time. I saw a 9 billion hit in there somewhere, so we know we're pretty close. And I believe Fei got a big hit in there as well. 17 billion. Way over the cap. Which means you can gear your units not as well as this and be just fine. Right? So we did 9.4 and 8.3. The cap is 10.7, so we're fine. There it is. And, you know, the best part about this is you're farming materials. So if you haven't crafted all your stuff, now you can easily craft all your stuff. And that's it. So hopefully that's helpful for anybody who, you know, doesn't have Karten and you want to kind of try a guide that's maybe similar to Sinzar's, but you don't have Karten and you think, oh, I can't do that because I don't have Karten. Yes, you can. You don't need Karten. Karten's cool and all, but you don't need Karten. And you don't even need all the stuff that I had in here. You know, you don't have to have Bulwark. If you have another Dark Imperil person, Dark Imbue person, use that. Bulwark didn't do that much. Ling did a little bit. You know, she gave us the big machine killer buff, the medium-sized machine killer buff, I should say, and some chain frames to help us kind of build that 100 hits. You know, whatever. Yuna, the dark field, probably not the end of the world if you don't have that. You know, this you don't have to hit 20 billion, you just have to hit 10 billion. So as long as two of your finishers can hit 5, you're fine. Do a little bit over 5 and you're good. So hopefully you can get to rank 1 as well and help us share all those great rewards with everybody. And I hope this video helps somebody to do that. Did you do something different? Did you have a different idea for how this was going to work? Did your strategy work for you? I want to hear about it, so drop a comment below. Be sure to hit like and follow and subscribe and all the things that you do, because it helps me come back and do this stuff on a regular basis. I know it's been a little while since I put out anything that was kind of like a clear or a guide, because I didn't really have anything that useful to do in the last Clash of Wills that I could really do that was any different from anybody else. I didn't have actually a really good, didn't have a great setup of units to try and beat the boss. Even though I had Chow, didn't have all the stuff I really needed to get that perfect score. So I didn't go for that. And I thought that the bosses on this event were not terribly difficult, so I didn't feel like I really needed to recreate the wheel. But with this last one, I think it's kind of nice to try to see how lots of different people do it. So you know, here's my way of doing it. So I hope that helps. I'm done rambling. You guys have a good night, and hopefully see you around in the next video. The next one should be tomorrow for our Ask an Old Mog series. So hopefully you tune back in and see that then. Have a good night until then.